and I've always said that Muslims should always have a voice because we have something to offer.
Yes.
So we have something to offer, and in terms of Black Lives Matter, although I don't like the name Black Lives Matter, I find it's a defeated kind of name. I agree with their platform, but it's a defeated, like, we just matter. And then everyone said, all lives matter. I mean, you have to put things into perspective. You gotta have this, I'm sure that they didn't know how big Black Lives Matter was going to be. But I don't like that defeated kind of name, like it matters. Actually, the Black people have been facing humiliation and torture for over 400 years. And I think it shouldn't be Black Lives Matter. It should be Black Lives Important, Black Lives Crucial. It should be something that's empowering. I don't like that name. I'm a person who thinks in words, but I do agree with their platform. So yes, I'm totally aware of the fact that we Muslims are Black, we're brown, we're white, we're all. So we are not there to be racist, but at the same time, we are supposed to be there that the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said that if you see a wrongdoing, change it with your hand. And if you can't change it with your hand, change it with your speech. And if you can't, then change it with your heart. And that's the lowest of faith. So I believe that, at least I have the ability to articulate. So we have to be able to articulate. So many times the Black movement, for example, they have sided with the Palestinian cause. And the Palestinians also, Mandela also stated that he was very happy to see that the Palestinians also at that time were siding with Mandela, right? So this is not something that happened last year. So whenever the Black movements decide with us, or whichever movement there's out there for justice that side with us, we as Muslims also, because we have, small parts of every culture, every ethnicity in our midst. Yes. So why don't we actually also speak up? It's our right to all. So that's why we had that. That's why I said we need to have a channel to actually speak about these things, speak about the killing of innocent Muslims in India, because we say, why just Muslims? Okay, the next are the Catholics, the next are the Maoists, right? They're also being expunged. Then why do you talk about the Muslims in Kashmir? Okay, the next, so whenever you keep quiet, you think that Hitler would stop at the Jews and the Gypsies? No, he would have continued on. Yes. So whoever else he would have found. So mad people also do mad things, but good people also need to actually speak up. And hence, that's why we made the channel. I mean, in order to put a platform that we have a voice and that we also need to uncover these injustices, right? We all have a statement to make.
Whatever the oppression may be, obviously, whether it's against Muslims or non-Muslims, as Muslims, we need to stand up and speak out against that.
Yeah, 100%.
No matter who the perpetrator may be, no matter who the oppressed may be and the downtrodden. So yeah, you spoke about the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously, in terms of the semantics of the term itself, you don't agree with. You think maybe it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a bit reductionist or defeatist, right? Of course, Black Lives Matter, but they matter more than simply mattering. Black lives are absolutely crucial and important, as you said. The movement itself, as Muslims, how should we respond? I mean, I've done videos on this. I've done a poem as well, as you know. How do we respond to this then as a Muslim community? How do we show our support for Black Lives Matter, for example?
We join them. We join them. We march with them. You see, whenever they march, you have to have, and people know that, and they came out in the briefings that whenever these people march, they're not the ones looting and doing all of these things. It's somebody instigates the problem. You see, they found out in America where KKK, part of KKK had come in and started throwing rocks and things in the midst of everyone.
Like infiltrated.
And panic, right?
Well, they infiltrated it basically. I even saw images, some of them painted their faces black, man. Like it was ridiculous, right? And the looting started and they were literally, they were just infiltrating and giving a bad name, just perpetuating that stereotype Black people are doing all over again, right? Which is obviously absolute rubbish. So,
and the idea here is looting. I mean, what makes me upset more is that we're worried about a shop that's being looted that has international chains, but we're not worried about the people who have been chained for over 400 years and have been persecuted for walking into a grocery store, for just walking home, be choked to death, be tasered for just sitting in a car, sleeping, you know, at a Wendy's restaurant. I mean, the injustice is so stark that it makes you want to get sick. And then all we have to hear, oh, look at the looting. The looting is so terrible. It's so terrible. Well, why are you not been saying it's come to this? Because we don't condone any kind of looting, although looting is, you know, taken from the from India, where British, you know, where you
Yeah,
guys have gone in.
the European colonialists, they were the real looters, right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, of course, exactly. But then at the same time, we stand by it because right is right and wrong is wrong. And our religion teaches us to stand for justice and the truth, even if it's against your own souls, right?
Right.